Okay, here we go. We're going to start off. You have to measure 11-inch long by 2 3/4 wide, or 3/4 wide uh, piece of paper. And what you got to do is you got to cut this. So you use the folders that you will have. Most of this material I will have for you in class that you can take home and start working on. Once you have finished doing that and you cut those 2 pieces, five points, and these 5 points are going to be at 1.5, 3.5, 5.5, 7.5, and 9.5. So they're going to be along, and what's going to happen is that is where you're going to put the outline of the nickel, and we'll slowly but surely you'll see what that is. So continue marking, and what you have to do 2 of these. So you have to cut 2 of these cardboards, but only do this to 1, and I'll show you why later. That's how it looks. So that's how it should look. Now I take my nickel and I put the nickel on top, and I draw an outline of the holes that I need. And sorry I'm in the way here, but I think you can get the idea. So again, I'm tracing the nickel, the circle over each of the marks, centering the circles between the top and the bottom edges of the cardboard strip. And then I'm going to carefully cut these out. Okay, so we're all finished there. And you will have these instructions too. I'm just adding this to the instructions so you guys can check this out and see it. So now I'm going to cut it out, and you be very careful with this. Now, obviously, it's hard with a scissors, so what they tell you to use is an X-Acto knife, but you can use a lot of things. What I would do is try to, with the scissor, punch a hole first and then cut it out, and you can do that. So here I try to punch a hole, and then you can use it to cut it out. Okay, it is a little difficult. I will put it on a hard surface so that you could get this done and complete this. Okay, so now everything's cut out. Notice that the 2 cardboard pieces have both have holes. Or actually, what I did was I took the top one and traced the holes onto the second one. So that's what you should be doing, is trace the cutouts onto the second piece of cardboard and then cut that out, just like you did the first one. Once both of them have been cut out and they're complete, you now need to start cutting some cellophane. What you need to do is cut 15 squares of cellophane, each about 1.5 times 1.5, so 1.5 by 1.5. What I would do is I would create a template first, and then I would cut it out. So once you have all the squares cut out, you can then start taping them to one piece of cardboard. Here's my template that I made, and then I just use that to cut out all the 15 squares that you need to cut out. So I'm going to work with 1 strip of cardboard now, and what I'm going to do is put 1 square of cellophane over the first hole, and then cover the second with 2, and so on and so on. One of the things to know, one of the things is, if you look in your lab, you will see a diagram, steps 5 and 6. That's where we are. And what you have to do is just tape it to them, to each of these holes. So 1 goes to 1, 2 layers, 3, 4, and 5 layers. Okay, so here's the finished product. And here's the 1 card with all the layers on it, going from the first hole to the last. Now I'll take both the second card and I'll place it on top, and I'll staple it to the card. Be aware that it just You might have to finagle a little if you didn't line up the holes and stuff. But that's the way it should look. So where there's one layer, we're going to start with we're going to label. And what we do is we label the first hole, the one covered. So after you staple it, we're now going to label it. And what we're going to do is, and this is weird because it starts at magnitude 5 and goes to magnitude 1. Magnitude 5, which is the one I'm labeling right there, is the dimmest star. It has the one cellophane square. Magnitude 1, which is all the way to the right, which I'm labeling right now, magnitude 1, is the brightest star. It's a very bright star because it's got 5 cellophane layers, and you have to see the star through it. If you do, that means it's very bright. So it's a little bit different. It's reverse. So magnitude 5 would be a very dim star. Magnitude 4, a little bit brighter. Magnitude 3, brighter. 2, brighter. 1, very bright. Okay, and that's how your card is labeled from left to right. What's going to happen is magnitude refers to the brightness of the star. So we're going to be observing stars through this magnitude strip because we want to try to approximate their magnitude, or their brightness. Okay, so when you're looking through this magnitude strip, if you have a star that you can see in 4 but can't see in 3, you know it has a magnitude of 4. So that's not a dim star, but it's a little dim. If you can see a star in 3 and then you go to 2 and you can see a star still, then you have to go to magnitude 1, and if you don't see it there, that means it's a magnitude 2. So you understand the process of elimination here and what you're doing with this strip. So the purpose of this is for you guys to get to understand and know what magnitude means. Also to understand what brightness, and what the two is very similar, and it's the definition. It refers to the brightness, so it's the definition. But understand, 5 is a dim star, 1 is a bright star.